So, the winners of the 2025 Anime Awards were announced. Oh, God, what has Crunchyroll done this time? Okay, I still stand by the title of my original video. Other than a few choices, I do think the nominee list was pretty strong this year. Let's get it! Man! You know, maybe we shouldn't vote. Maybe the public vote was a mistake. In case you missed it, I recently released a video talking about who I voted for and why. If you want extra emotional damage, go check out that video and see how foolishly naive I was when I was making my predictions on who I thought was going to win some of these awards. Trust me, it's going to add a lot of salt to this video. Sora didn't end up live streaming the event. Even if he did, I wouldn't have been there because I was sleeping. Anyway, let's just get into this. There is too much to talk about and I've got a lot of people lined up who want to rant about what happened.
これ毒です。
You know, at least the Apothecary Diaries won something. Like I said before, I watched all these shows dubbed, so I can't really speak on this. But hey, you go Mau Mau. It's the only award you're getting today.
Pledge yourself to the man before you. Erect.
So, seeing as how the rest of the awards turned out, I don't know if this will end up being controversial or not, but this was well deserved. Alex poured his heart and soul into this role, and he did such a great job. I mean, he always does, but still. Of course, the other nominees were great here too, but for me personally, Alex takes the cake. Congratulations, Solo Leveling. We'll be back to talk about you later, and it's not gonna be great. Oh, I didn't expect that to be so soon. So, most of these nominees had bare bones animation. They were pretty standard for ending songs if I'm being honest. Music was good, visuals weren't anything too special. I actually got this comment in the last video talking about this, and while I personally do believe that the animation and song for Free do complement each other, I'm gonna make a video about it, so you should go watch that after this if you're interested. I do agree that the Elusive Samurai visuals and music does match. I just didn't like it, and I prefer all the other songs I nominated over them. With a lineup like this, it's really no wonder that Request won this award. It's easily the most dynamic and visually interesting of the group alongside the Elusive Samurai. Anyway, this was another understandable dub for Solo Leveling. If the nominees were better in this category, I'd have more to say, but this award was basically handed to Craig. To be fair, I did say that I couldn't choose between any of these. Then again, most of my favorite songs weren't even nominated, so now I'm confused. Visually, the opening for Dawn to Dawn is fantastic, and it is catchy. Is it my cup of tea? No, but I do recognize how well animated it is. That being said, I am very surprised that Oshinoko didn't win anything. Fatal is a gem of an opening, and I would love to see just how close this poll was. I'm not an Oshinoko glazer. I'm actually probably one of its biggest haters, and that was before the author drove it off of a cliff. But this just feels wrong, and it's not the only stolen win we're going to see in this video. Oh yeah, speaking of. I don't know how I feel about this one. I can't say that I'm surprised here. Hideyuki Suwana is just one of those names that you know. You see it, and you vote for it. Just like Jujutsu Kaisen last year. And while the score for Solo Leveling is great, this is gonna come from I haven't lost yet! I really think Evan Call and Haruka Nakamaru's work on Free Rein and Look Back respectively is much more memorable. And I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I disagree heavily with this. The fact that I know Evan Call's name shows how much I love the Free Rein soundtrack. Because I don't know anybody's name. I don't know any, half the time I can't even remember the anime characters' names. But I remember Evan Call's name just because I love this music so much. I listen to soundtrack so often while I'm reading manga or reading a light novel or a web novel, right? And then like the entire Freerun soundtrack is really good when you're reading anything fantasy related, right? And in general, it actually works for other genres too, but it works best for fantasy.
I'm not surprised by this pick. I can't even say I'm disappointed because I was expecting it, but I just wish things turned out differently. I mean, I love Hideyuki, don't get me wrong. He's made some of the most iconic soundtracks in anime. But yeah, I guess you could say I'm whelmed. Okay, bringing you back to that comment from earlier. This category makes a lot more sense now. Still redundant since Otonoke won both awards, but
I understand it now.
no hate for Otonoke or Creepy Nuts. But this is just not my song. Otonoke is catchy, it's just really not my thing. I think it works great as an opening, but as a song on its own? No visuals? Just raw dogging the ears? It's probably the song I've listened to the least next to Mashal. I mean, I still stand by what I said about turning this category into Best Insert Song. As long as the nominees are the same as they were in Best Opening, the winner is going to be the same no matter what. If that were the case, seeing how the ceremony is going, Dark Aria probably would have won Best Insert Song, but at least we would have seen new nominees and something new would have won.
Alright, for Best Anime Song, I have to disagree with every result with the Anime Awards, saying that Dan and Dan was the best anime opening. Yes, it's a catchy song, but I feel like it's the most generic opening. Like, there are so many good songs, and Dan and Dan not just win once, but like twice for the best anime opening and the best anime song, which doesn't make sense in my opinion. At least have one, but I feel like, in my opinion, like the two catalysts that should be competing for 1 and 2, like first place, I would have to pick Yozabai's Freerun opening. He's really talented on making so many meaningful moments in the anime openings, and there's also like in his lyrics, whether you understand the Japanese or look at the subtitles for the lyrics, there's always some Easter eggs and meaningful lines in those lyrics. And he did the same thing when it came to Freerun's opening. Like there's more relevant meaning in that opening lyrics that the anime also has in the anime that hints at the lyrics. Along with that, Ashinoko, Fatal, the second opening, I believe, for the second season. That one also should be like a strong candidate for second place. If Freerun wasn't up on here, it would definitely take first place.
Oh wow, Anya, who could have possibly seen this coming? I'm telling you, bring back Best Boy and Girl next year, Crunchyroll. Before we continue, I'd like to take this time to remind you guys to consider hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like on the video. I mean, you made it this far, so why not? If you guys didn't know, it is a nightmare to work with anime sometimes, with copyright being a massive pain in the butt for us AniTubers. A lot of the images behind me are probably screenshots for YouTube, but over on Patreon, they were actually moving the way they should be, as well as having the music that I originally intended for all these scenes. For just $1 a month, you get access to all of these versions of my videos, as well as a massive catalog of reaction videos. $1 might not seem like a lot, but because of you guys, I was able to get this green screen, and I'm having a blast with it, and I hope it's making these videos better. If you're unable to support the channel that way, it's totally fine, and I completely get it. But by liking and subscribing, you are helping this channel more than you can believe when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. We also have a Discord if you're interested. We talk about anime, manga, cartoons, and games. Really, it's just a place to hang and chill with the community. So why wait? Become a tourist now by hitting that subscribe button. Okay, time to get back to your regularly scheduled rant.
Fern, was it? Join me. Become my apprentice.
Oh, no thanks.
Okay, I'm not mad. I'm not. You know, this is great. This is actually a really good pick. I voted for Jinchi, but and I could see Himmel winning. But you know, like I personally prefer Jinchi, and I preferred Himmel. Fern's a great character. I love seeing her pout. I love when she gets mad. She's kind of like Freerun's sister. She kind of feels like Frierin's older sister sometimes, even though she was raised by Frieren, right? Yeah, I'm not mad at this. This is a good choice. She's great.
I still stand by the thought that Genji should have won this. Well, I guess I can't be too mad. It's not really about Fern. I guess I'm just extra salty with this one, considering the next award.
Pledge yourself to the man before you.
Listen, I like Sung. He's a good character. He works for the show that he's in, and he does it well. But really, Chino? Seriously, we're doing this here. Out of all the characters listed here, Chino? Nah, I need to see the results down to the percentage for this one. How many of you guys didn't vote for Mao Mao? How many? Go on, raise your hand. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I just want to talk. Nothing personal, I swear. I just want to talk. The worst part is this isn't even the last L the Apothecary Diaries is taking today. Yeah, I mean, I like this show. I guess technically this season's more of a slice of life than it is a romance. Do I think Hibeki Euphonium was snubbed? Yeah, a bit, but Machine is a really good show, so I guess I'm not too disappointed that it ended up winning something. I really like Machine. It's a fun show with some really compelling characters and a lot of well-written stuff. It can get weird at times, but we don't judge here.
Kill yourself.
I voted for the Apothecary Diaries because drama is the life and soul of this show. It would be a real shame if it doesn't win, but honestly, I don't know if it'll be able to come out of Frierin's shadow. You know, sometimes I hate being right. I mean, I'm not right often, and usually it's something to be celebrated, but this just ain't it, man. Out of everything the Apothecary Diaries is nominated for, this is the biggest L it could have gotten. The Apothecary Diaries is literally built on the drama that it generates. The foundation of the very show is drama. This show's soul is drama. I just don't know what to say to this one, man. I don't know how the Apothecary Diaries lost this one.
You know, normally I'm a massive Frieren glazer, right? You'll hear later. I'm a massive glazer of Frieren. But why wasn't it even nominated for this category? Frieren doesn't have any more drama than any other show. Like, it has the same amount of drama. It's just the average show. Like, every show has some drama, but it should not win this category. You know what should have won here? The Apothecary Diaries. Because if you want drama, we got plenty of it here. We have a ton. It's literally a palace drama. It's its genre. But Frieren winning. Why would Frieren even get this category? It's like, it has drama. Like, every show has drama to an extent. If the drama in Frieren qualifies it for a drama, then you could make the same argument that the romance between Fern and Stark in Frieren qualifies it as a romance. I don't know how it got in this category. Like, I'll take a Frieren getting any award, but I don't think it deserves this one. This feels like more of a snub to the other shows here than a win for Frieren, to be honest.
Yeah, of course. So just wait here and trust me. Because I'll always protect you.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you on this one. I'm actually not salty here. For all the praise I gave Mushoku Tensei, I knew it wasn't going to win simply for the fact that it's way too weird. And it's pretty controversial in the anime community. I mean, I voted for it, but ReZero was my runner-up.
Now for Crunchyroll's best Isekai anime, don't get me wrong, I love ReZero. It's like one of my favorite animes of ever, alongside with other animes that are like pretty dear to me. But I have to say, like, I disagree with ReZero Season 3 being the best Isekai anime, because in my humble opinion, I feel like Mushoku Sensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 should have been best Isekai anime, because it's just the whole character development from Rudius and any of the side characters that are like beautifully characterized in the whole anime series, which I believe should be like nominated or make a strong case for itself, saying how much effort was put into these character developments in these animes. And unfortunately, I feel like the main reason why a lot of people may not watch it or know about the Shoko Sensei is because like it's a slow pacing process. Like it's a slow pacing story, and a lot of people either don't have time for staying through the whole character development and don't want to see it at a slow moving pace instead of more of a fast moving pace, which is understandable. I'm like the same way when it comes to like romance animes, right? I could make the same argument, or anyone can make the same argument, that Subaru has the best character development later on through the series, which I understand. But I feel like it wasn't as passionate and as more building up than Rudius character's development. I say Rudius is like the best character development, from hating him to understanding him and feeling bad for a character going through a journey that is basically tragic but adds more flavor in the waters of the character.
Of all the isekai listed here, ReZero Season 3 was probably the second strongest contender. Your mileage may vary with that depending on how funny you found Konosuba Season 3 to be this year. I liked ReZero Season 3 enough. I've said it a few times already, it is the weakest season of the three, but it's still a solid ride and it leaves a ton open for Season 4 to explore. Even though slowly unraveling how to get out of these increasingly ludicrous events through each death is half the fun of the premise, retroactively, it was great to see Subaru be able to make it through a situation without having to rely on return by death. I'm actually kind of surprised that Konosuba didn't win this one. I thought out of sheer popularity would overtake everything else that was on the poll, but I seriously underestimated how much of a following ReZero has gained over the years. Good for you, Subaru. Not only were you able to fight against several archbishops of the witches cult, but you also managed to claw your way to victory here too.
I haven't lost yet!
I mean, was anyone really surprised by this? I'm not really sure how Bleach did this season, but it wasn't nearly as talked about as much as it was the last time it was airing. Meanwhile, Soul Leveling had both the hype and the animation to back it up. Sure, some fights were clearly budget savers, but it made up for it when it counted. Those budget saving fights are the reason why I still think Windbreaker should have won this award. They were much more consistent with their animation and choreography, with some really impressive counter moves in there too. But yeah, if I'm being honest, this one was a given. I'm just glad it wasn't Demon Slayer this year. Do people actually watch this? I don't find Mashal all that funny. Not the character, the show. I mean, it's really got one gimmick. It's funny the first couple of episodes, and then it just becomes something you expect. And that's why I dropped season 1. I don't know if season 2 did anything different, but again, I ask, did anyone actually watch this? Again, I'm surprised to see Konosuba lose to a genre it is literally known for. This feels really weird.
何ですか?
Yeah, I saw this one coming. For as much as I glazed the dangers in my heart, honestly, when it came to romance, I was gonna be happy with almost any of these. Scott Pilgrim would have been weird, and I still don't really see how it got nominated over other shows that I liked, but it was still a good show, and it deserves a little bit of something. Blue Box, while phenomenal, I mean, I bought the manga after the anime finished, so you can tell how much I liked this. Felt like the safe choice, and that's because it finished airing like a month ago. As we see with almost all of these winners, recency bias plays way too much of a role in how people vote, and I'm sad thinking that Blue Box didn't win for the reasons it should have. Regardless, Blue Box is still a great romance, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I actually recommend all the shows nominated here, but I'm a huge romance fan. If you are too and you haven't seen any of these, you're going to have a great time. Trust me. I'm going to speedrun these 4 again. Like I said in my last video, I am nowhere near qualified to talk about any of these categories in any form of depth. Regardless, I do have opinions, and I'm mostly satisfied with the winners here. Best background art and director both went to Frieren, and that's what I voted for. My thoughts haven't changed since I wrote and edited the last video, and I think that these are well deserved. Especially Ketsudo Saito's work directing Frieren. Really, the only other director I would have accepted other than him would have been Megumi Ishitani for their work on One Piece Fan Letter. Being able to create such a well-paced and emotional story in only 20 minutes is a testament to anyone's skill. Of course, the script is a huge part of that too, but to pull it all together is a talent that shouldn't be underlooked. Best character design is also one that I'm happy with. I mean, I voted for Don Da Don, so that's a win for me. Where my problems do come in though is best animation. You and I have a lot of beef, don't we? Okay, just to get this out of the way. The explosion in the final episode of Demon Slayer is extremely impressive. This 30-second clip of the Stone Hashira guy playing with his chain is really cool. Other than those two things though, the rest of season 4 was a snooze fest, both in story and animation. The quality of animation throughout this season is not anything really special. I mean, nothing really happens throughout this season outside of like 5 minutes at the end. Let that sink in. This award went to a show for less than 5 minutes of pretty good animation. I get it. I would honestly get it if the rest of the nominees were average. Frieren, Don Da Don, and Solo Leveling are not your average show. Solo Leveling has a lot of impressive set pieces in season 1, but Frieren and Don Da Don are simply on another level of quality when we're looking at the entire season, especially considering Frieren was 24 back-to-back episodes that didn't miss a beat. There was not a single budget-saving episode in Frieren. In fact, every episode went above and beyond just to flex how talented their animators are. To see that all of those details and extra effort that they put into every episode went unnoticed, it hurts. What do I know, right? I'm just some guy making videos on the internet in my bedroom. I didn't work on this explosion. Maybe it really is more impressive than all 27 episodes of Frieren combined.
Too shallow! Step deeper!
Okay, this one's obvious. I love all these shows for different reasons, but it's gonna be Frieren. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Hey, speaking of Frieren snubs, I shouldn't even be surprised here. Even though I am. I like Solo Leveling, I really do, but this is not the best new series. That honor goes to Frieren or the Apothecary Diaries, and that's just what's nominated. If I started listing my honorable mentions, we'll be here all day. I should really save my soul for later.
Sunflower thrust!
Again, this one's obvious. I mean, it's kind of a meme at this point, but the only reason this award's here is so that One Piece can win something. Let's make something very clear here. I'm not salty that One Piece lost. I'm salty that Demon Slayer won.
I still can't believe it's Demon Slayer. Like, if that doesn't say bias or favoritism, that, I don't know what does. The only reason why it's, like, pretty famous and popular is because of the animation, which I can understand about and totally agree with. But the winner of this category should have been the One Piece. When it comes to One Piece, the iconic anime that everyone would think of, it would be One Piece. That's it for you. And let's be honest, it's been going for like almost like over 800 episodes now. And I have to say, every arc is pretty fun, and even though some people may not agree, saying it's cliche, it's mid, it's not good.
Josh, okay, I gotta defend myself here. I never said that. I don't know why I'm catching a stray here.
I really like the whole Luffy's character development, along with all his main cast, from Zoro, Robin. I don't understand why they would say I would pick Demon Slayer over this peak right here, because like this should have been like money in the bag. There should have been no question that it should have been the One Piece.
One Piece has won this award for years, and out of every single show it could have lost to, it was Demon Slayer? And not just any season of Demon Slayer. It was season 4? It's over, that's it, right? It can't possibly get any worse. Oh god, it got worse! Out of everything in this awards ceremony, this is the award I'm most salty with. And yes, I'm including Best Anime in that statement. Girls Band Cry, one of the best anime of the year with some of the most impressive CGI animation we've seen for a lot of anime, lost to this.
Not comparing tragedies, this was our September 11th.
What am I supposed to say to this? My only cope is that I understand that Girls Band Cry was hard to watch anywhere. For a very long time, it was exclusive to the 7 Seas. It's on Crunchyroll now, and if you want to watch something that's really good, you better go watch it, because I need a season 2 of this. If we get a season 2 of Ninja Conway because of this, however, I will find who voted for it, and I will ask you, was it worth it? I know the last 3 categories weren't in order, and I could have put Best Film earlier, but I needed a W before going back into the stall. Let's go! Yay! Look Back won something. You know, just one of the most deserving nominees in this entire ceremony. It shouldn't be a surprise that this won, but with the way this video's going, anything is possible, I guess. If you haven't seen Look Back, go watch it. It's barely an hour long, and you're not gonna feel the time pass at all. I don't want to be dramatic or anything, but there's honestly a good chance that this film is gonna change your perspective on a lot of things. I'm not gonna say it's gonna change your life, that's being too hyperbolic, but it will get you thinking, and honestly, that's one of, if not the best thing any piece of media can do for its audience. Okay. Let's take a moment before going forward to take in this rare Crunchyroll W. Let's take a breath. Okay. It's time for the big one. I haven't lost yet! So, people who vote in the anime awards just don't watch anime, huh? I really want to see the parallel world where Solo Leveling Season 2 was delayed to the summer of 2025. This has to be recency bias, right? People watched Season 2 and thought that that's what they were voting for, right? It doesn't matter how I cope. No matter what I do, what I say, or how I try and rationalize it, Solo Leveling ended up being voted as the best anime of 2025. This show is plain and simply a hype. I love it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon and pretend like I hate it now because it won. I'm salty, sure, but at the end of the day, this is the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, guys. We all knew that this was gonna happen. Or at least we all probably had some kind of idea that something like this would happen. The same thing happened last year with Jujutsu Kaisen, in 2023 with Cyberpunk, in 2022 with Attack on Titan, in 2021 with Jujutsu Kaisen again, and it's probably gonna happen next year with Solo Leveling Season 2. Some of these shows definitely deserve the win. But the sad thing is, they probably didn't win because of how good they won because of how popular they were. There's a difference, a pretty clear one, especially if you look at this year's nomination list. If you want to know my thoughts on why Freerun deserves Anime of the Year, go check out my nominee video and my Freerun video essay. So, in the end, Sora and I never ended up streaming the Anime Awards because it happened at like 1 a.m. for us, and by the time I woke up, I was already spoiled, as you could have seen in the Discord. But in that planned live stream, we were going to have a special guest talk about Freerun because, well, he really wanted to talk about Frieren. We were all very confident that it was going to win, and well, yeah, you could see that didn't happen. Anyway, I want to honor that planned agreement because I've talked about Frieren a lot on this channel, so much so you're probably sick of hearing it from me. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to talk about Frieren, especially when Season 2 starts rolling around. But to honor that agreement, I'm going to have this section go to that guest. Take it away, Evie.
I'm so happy that this anime won. Frieren is one of the greatest shows I mean, it's the show that got me into anime. Literally, it's actually unironically changed my life in multiple ways, right? It's gotten me on my current anime grind, first of all. But second of all, it's gotten me to appreciate the little things in life. Like, I watched it right before I went on vacation with my dad, like, in August of 2024, right? And I went on vacation with him, and I just decided to do all of these little things that I wouldn't normally do, because it's like, I'm going to value these moments in the future. And I have some of my most fond memories because I did that. But also, like, the core thing of Frieren, and I think Josh can relate to me here, is it's very relatable to anyone who graduated during COVID especially. Because when I graduated, I had all my friends, right? And I was planning, because I was one of those people who didn't, like, keep in contact with you outside of school, right? And I decided, oh, well, on graduation, when I graduate, I'm gonna, get all their contacts so I can keep in touch. And then COVID happened, and I wasn't able to, and I realized all the little things that I could have done in my life. I was someone who didn't really go to many social events, and I feel like I should, if I valued my time with others more, I would have. And Frieren, honestly, if I'd seen Frieren then, which it didn't exist, but if I'd seen Frieren then, I probably would have done it. I would have gone out more and hang out with friends. It's like, just because I realize these moments matter. Like, when I think back to my favorite moments, it's often like the signing moments. Like, I think that's true of everyone. And yeah, and that's why I'm glad it won Anime of the Year.
Actually, Evie Frieren didn't win Anime of the Year. That was so.
Let's get it!
You're trolling, right? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? What one? The winner, the Anime of the Year is Solo Leveling? Guys, I mean, I like Jinwoo Aura far because next to the as much as the next guy. But Anime of the Year? In fact, of these shows, this isn't even season 2. This is season 1. In all seriousness, though, we all knew this was gonna happen. The general anime fan is different from the real anime fans. Like the anime community is different from the general audience community that watches anime. Okay, let's talk about the positives for Soul Leveling. S-tier action, although a lot of people who voted on this were voting for season 2, but still season 1 has S-tier action, right? And then we have Jinwoo himself. Jinwoo is what carries the show. That's about it when it comes to Soul Leveling. It's not a bad show, in fact. It's in my favorites list. It's just one of those shows you turn off your brain and watch, which a lot of people enjoy, and that's great. But Anime of the Year, I disagree hard with this. In fact, part of me wants to go on a big rant, but I don't think I really have the energy for it anymore.
He did, in fact, have the energy for it, and if you want to watch the full thing, it's an extra 30 minutes of this video. You can check it out on our Patreon with early access for just $1 a month. The following is going to be a condensed highlight reel of what he talked about.
Let's be honest, of these shows, it's probably the weakest. I haven't seen Kaiju number 8, but I've seen the others. Or at least seen enough episodes to comment on it. Let's talk about Apothecary Diaries. Let's be honest, this is the show that got snubbed the most by this awards show. It didn't win a single award. It deserved Best Drama. Oh my gosh, Apothecary Diaries is great. Mao Mao is my favorite main character of any anime other than Okabe Rintaro.
That is such high praise, and it is so based.
I love the palace intrigue of this show. Oh, that's great. It's literally the whole thing. But the best thing is really Mao Mao and her obsessing over whatever poison or drug she finds, right? Don, I haven't finished, but yeah, it's Momo and Okarun are such great characters. The plot line's a bit goofy, but that's why the show works, right? You gotta get Okarun's junk back. Delicious in Dungeon. I love this lore, man. I love this world. I love the food chains. I also am intrigued by the plot itself. I guess I could talk more about Frieren to end this off, though. This is the first anime I watched, and it started a journey that is literally fully documented. I found so many of my favorite shows thanks to Frieren, and I can't take that personal effect away from the show. And that's why I think it will always be my favorite anime, because it's the anime that got me into anime. It also affected my life in many ways, right? I hang out with my dad every week now, which I didn't do before. And that's because of Frieren. It actually impacted me. I know this is a thing people say about a lot of things, and it's not really that. It usually doesn't mean much, right? But it actually has affected me. It's why it's my favorite anime, right? And it's also a show I think that will always get better the longer it's been, for the older I get. And I don't mean that like in a nostalgic way. I mean that the story of the show itself works better the older you get, because the more regrets you have, the more things you didn't do, which me personally, all of my regrets are things I didn't do. They weren't mistakes I've chosen to make. They were just things I said. They're just things I just lazily said, I'm not gonna do this, or I didn't care enough to do it. It was apathetic, to an extent, right? Frieren should be anime of the year.
I mean, we all know who's gonna be winning most of these awards.
All these categories, it felt like the biggest L's ever. It felt like a dumpster fire. I guess you can start recording.
So what did this video teach us?
Democracy was a mistake!
In all seriousness, I'm not actually that salty about the winners and losers in this video. They're all just a bunch of voice drawings, and they all mean something to someone. While my personal favorites didn't win much of anything, someone's favorites did win. And if you're actually pressed about the results of these awards, try keeping that in mind. Anyway, this was a quick video from me. I hope. If you made it to the end, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and help this channel grow by sharing this video with someone that you think is going to enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below who you think should have won your favorite category. And of course, I want to give a huge thanks to the patrons, Matthew Garcia, Kamer, and A Glitched Eevee. Thank you guys so much for making this stuff possible. If you want to see the full-length version of this video with all of the interviews uncut and everything that got copyright claimed uncensored, make sure you check out the link in the description below and become a tourist on Patreon today. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, remember, keep watching anime. Bye!